His hand lingered on my waist, warm and heavy, as the shadows of my bedroom swallowed us whole. I told myself it was just a dream, that his lips never brushed my shoulder, that I didn't whisper his name like a secret I wasn't supposed to know. But the faint scent of his cologne on my pillow this morning tells me it wasn't a dream, and he's my sister's husband. Disclaimer: this content is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. I never meant for it to happen. I never planned for Ul to cross the line, not when he wears a ring that ties him to my sister, not when his smile was supposed to be hers alone. But last night, everything blurred, the thunder outside, the wine still burning on my tongue, and the way his eyes found mine like I was the only one breathing. Ul is 32, broad-shouldered and calm, with a kind of presence that fills any room. My sister, Hannah, adores him. She always says he's the steady one, the man who keeps storms at bay. But what she doesn't know is that last night, he was the storm. He showed up at my apartment, rain-soaked and quiet, saying the power at their place had gone out. Hannah was out of town, staying with their mother. I thought nothing of it until he stood too close, his fingers brushing mine when I handed him a blanket, his voice lower than usual, as if the dark gave him permission to speak differently. Maybe it was the wine, maybe the sound of the rain tapping against the window, or maybe the way he looked at me, not like Hannah's husband, but like a man who couldn't help himself. The space between us closed slowly, like a question neither of us was brave enough to answer but couldn't stop asking. I can still feel the heat of his hand on the small of my back, the hesitation before everything tilted, before I let him in. Now, morning light feels colder than it should. My phone buzzes with a text from Hannah. "Can you check on Ul later? He said he might still be at your place." My chest tightens as I glance at the closed door of my bedroom, where he's still asleep, sheets tangled around his body. The air feels thick, heavy with something that can't be undone. I don't know if it was a mistake or something we'd both been denying for too long. But as the sound of the shower running fills the silence, one question keeps circling in my mind, refusing to let me breathe. When he walks out of that bathroom, will we pretend last night never happened, or will we both admit we want it to happen again? The door handle turns, and I freeze. The door opens, and Ul steps out, steam curling from the bathroom behind him. He's wearing only a towel, water still dripping from his hair, the sharp scent of his body wash drifting through the room. He doesn't look at me right away, and I can't tell if it's because he's guilty, or because he's afraid of what he might see in my face. My heart feels heavy, caught between the weight of last night and the quiet that settled in its wake. We don't speak. Not yet. The sound of the rain outside feels louder, filling the silence with something neither of us is brave enough to break. I watch him move to the dresser where his phone rests, the light from the window catching the curve of his shoulder, the faint scar he told me once came from a football injury in college. Little things I shouldn't remember about him, but do. Ul and Hannah met 5 years ago. I was the one who introduced them at a 4th of July barbecue, back when I thought he was just another easy smile and steady laugh. I never thought he'd become part of our family, or that his laugh would one day twist something inside me instead of making me smile. I told myself last night was a mistake, a blur of loneliness and rain and tension that had been building for months without me noticing. But now, seeing him in the soft morning light, his jaw set like he's holding something back, I can't shake the memory of his hands tracing my spine, the way his voice broke when he whispered my name like he had no control. I want to ask him what this means. If he regrets it, if he'll go back to Hannah and pretend nothing happened. But the words stick in my throat. Maybe because I already know what he'll say, or because part of me doesn't want to hear it. The space between us feels like it's alive, humming with something we can't name. He finally glances at me, his eyes dark and unreadable, and for a second, it feels like the room holds its breath. Neither of us moves. Ul finally breaks the silence, his voice low and rough, like he's been swallowing the words all morning. "She texted you, didn't she?" He doesn't look at me when he says it. His hand rests on the dresser, fingers tightening around the edge as if he's bracing himself for something heavier than a simple answer. I nod, even though he doesn't turn to see it. "Yeah. She thinks you're just staying here until the storm passes. My voice comes out softer than I want, and I hate how small it sounds in the space between us. I'll exhale slowly, the kind of breath that says more than words. He finally turns to face me, his eyes searching mine. We can't talk about last night. Not now. Not ever. The firmness in his tone doesn't match the way his jaw tightens, or the way his gaze drops briefly to my lips before he looks away. I want to agree. I want to say I understand, that we'll just bury it deep and pretend we were never that close. But as I sit there, my fingers tangled in the bedsheet, the memory of his hand on my back and the quiet sound of my name in the dark feels too fresh to dismiss. My chest feels tight, like my own heart is daring me to speak the words I know I shouldn't. I can pretend, I whisper, though I don't know if I mean it. But can you? His silence says everything. His shoulders tense, and for a long moment, he just stands there, dripping water onto the wooden floor, staring at the rain-streaked window like it has the answers neither of us can give. When he finally looks back at me, his eyes are darker, conflicted. There's a flicker of something raw there, something that tells me he's not as steady as Hannah believes he is. The sound of my phone buzzing on the nightstand slices through the tension. It's Hannah again, her name lighting up the screen like a warning. I don't answer, but I can feel Elle watching me, waiting, like every choice I make right now carries weight we'll never escape. The room feels smaller, like the walls themselves know we've done something we can't undo. He steps closer, slow, deliberate, each movement deliberate as if he's testing himself with every step. His hand hovers near mine for a second, just shy of contact, before he pulls back, the conflict in his face sharper than ever. We shouldn't, he says, voice barely above a whisper. But the way he lingers, the way his eyes lock on mine, says he's not sure if he wants to stop. And neither am I. The rain has slowed, but the sound of water dripping from the eaves lingers in the stillness, amplifying every breath between us. Elle is still standing a few steps away, the towel at his waist clinging to him, his chest rising and falling as if each breath costs him more effort than the last. I can feel the weight of his eyes on me, heavy, searching, and it makes my pulse drum hard in my throat. Neither of us speaks, but the silence feels alive, filled with all the things we aren't saying. Every second stretches thin, like the room itself is holding us hostage, waiting for one of us to shatter the moment. I can feel my phone still buzzing on the nightstand behind me, Hannah's name lighting up again, but I can't bring myself to turn around, not with Elle watching me like that. He moves first. A slow step, then another. His hand brushes against the wooden edge of the dresser as he passes it, the faint scrape of his fingers grounding the moment in reality. He stops just close enough for me to feel the warmth radiating off his skin, a heat that pulls at me even as my mind screams to step back. This, whatever we're doing, he murmurs, voice barely above the rain outside, we can't take it back if we keep going. I meet his gaze, and for a second, the rest of the world falls away, Hannah's voice, the storm, the weight of what this will mean tomorrow. All I see is him, his expression torn between restraint and something deeper, something I shouldn't even want to recognize. My breath feels shallow, my fingers curling into the sheet like I need something to hold me steady. A distant rumble of thunder rolls through the sky, and it feels like the universe is holding its breath with us. His hand hovers at his side, so close I can feel the heat radiating off it, but he doesn't touch me. Not yet. We're both waiting for the other to break, the air so thick it feels like it could crush us. And still, neither of us moves. But neither of us steps away. The tension shatters not with a kiss, but with the sharp chime of my phone cutting through the quiet. Hannah's name lights up the screen again, but this time it doesn't stop buzzing. Elle glances at it, then back at me, his brow furrowing. The sound feels louder than the storm outside, each vibration like a countdown neither of us can ignore. When I finally answer, Hannah's voice floods the room, cheerful, rushed, completely unaware of the chaos lingering in her absence. Hey, are you still home? I think Ul's phone died. Can you do me a favor? Make sure he gets packed up soon, Mom's not feeling great, so we're heading back tonight instead of tomorrow. Tonight. Not tomorrow. My chest tightens as I glance at Ul, who's staring at the floor now, jaw clenched. Yeah, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. I'll tell him. She keeps talking, but my thoughts drift, tangled in the memory of last night, the weight of his hand on my waist, the way his breath had caught when my name left his lips, soft and unsteady. I shouldn't still feel that warmth curling through me, not when her voice is in my ear. But I do. When I hang up, the silence that returns feels heavier, more dangerous. Ul lifts his head, his eyes finding mine, and there's something raw there, fear, want, maybe both. She's coming back tonight? His voice is quiet, but there's an edge to it, like every word is laced with something he's trying to hold back. I nod. A few hours. For a moment, neither of us moves. Then Ul steps closer, his hand brushing mine as he reaches for his phone on the nightstand. It's a small touch, almost accidental, but it sends a jolt through me. His eyes linger on mine longer than they should, and I can see it. He's not thinking about Hannah, or the storm, or even the time slipping away. He's thinking about last night. About us. And then, without warning, the front door creaks open downstairs. We both freeze. My stomach drops, the sound echoing up the staircase like a warning. Hannah isn't supposed to be here yet, but someone is. Footsteps follow, slow and deliberate, moving through the house. Ul's face hardens, his body tense as he glances toward the bedroom door. Did you lock it? He whispers. I shake my head, pulse racing. Whoever is downstairs is getting closer, each step a reminder that last night's secret might not stay hidden for long. The footsteps grow louder, steady and deliberate, until the floorboards outside the bedroom creak. Ul instinctively steps closer to me, his arm brushing mine, as if to shield me even though we both know there's no real protection from what's coming. My pulse pounds in my ears, drowning out even the soft patter of rain. The door swings open. It's not Hannah. It's her younger brother, Tyler, Ul's brother-in-law, only a year younger than me. He's dripping wet from the rain, a duffel bag slung over his shoulder, eyes scanning the room before landing on us. There's no mistaking the tension, the way Ul stands too close, the air too charged. Tyler's brows knit, his voice low but sharp. What's going on here? The question slices through the air, heavier than it should be. I start to speak, but Ul cuts in, his tone calm but laced with something darker. Nothing that concerns you, Tyler. You weren't supposed to be here. Tyler's gaze flicks between us, suspicion and curiosity warring on his face. Hannah's on her way. And if she walks into this, he gestures vaguely at the space between us, you'd better have a good story, Ul. For both of you. The moment feels like it's teetering, ready to collapse under the weight of everything unspoken. I can feel the last threads of denial snapping inside me. Last night wasn't just a slip. It was something neither of us wanted to admit we'd wanted for longer than we should have. And now, standing here with Tyler's eyes on us, it feels like the truth is seconds from detonating. Ul steps forward, his voice firm but low. Then help us keep it quiet. Hannah doesn't need to know. No one does. Tyler stares at him for a beat, then at me. The tension holds, stretching thin until Tyler exhales, shaking his head with a bitter laugh. You two are playing with fire, he mutters, brushing past us toward the hallway. But I'm not the one who's going to get burned. The front door opens again downstairs. Hannah's voice carries faintly up the stairs. Ul and I lock eyes, the weight of everything pressing down. The choice is no longer ours alone. ChatGPT said. Hannah's voice grows clearer as her footsteps reach the top of the stairs. The tension in the room feels like a storm about to break, but Ul doesn't move. His eyes stay locked on mine, a silent question lingering there. What now? For a moment, it feels like time slows, every sound outside the room fading except for the soft thud of Hannah's shoes on the hardwood. Tyler lingers in the doorway, watching us both, his expression unreadable. He doesn't call out, doesn't warn Hannah, but his eyes narrow like he's silently weighing whether to keep our secret or let the truth unravel right here. Ul finally breaks the spell. He steps back, putting space between us, his shoulders tightening as though he's pulling on an invisible armor. by the time Hannah's silhouette fills the hallway, he's no longer standing near me. His towel is gone, replaced by jeans and a plain t-shirt, his face calm, collected like last night never happened. Hannah steps inside, smiling, oblivious to the heavy air. She talks about their mother, the drive, how the storm has cleared. Her voice is warm, easy, the same as always, and for a moment, I almost believe none of it happened. Almost. But when Ul glances at me, just once, as Hannah turns to grab her bag, the weight of everything crashes back. It's a fleeting look, soft, conflicted, heavy with everything we can't say. And in that moment, I know, last night wasn't a mistake, not for either of us. But it's something that can never surface, not if we want to keep the world we've built intact. Later, after they leave, the quiet feels louder than the rain ever did. I stand by the window, staring at the faint streaks of water still trailing down the glass, the ghost of his cologne lingering in the air. I tell myself it's over, that we'll bury it deep where no one can touch it. But as I press my hand to the pillow where he lay hours ago, I hear the memory of his whisper, soft and raw, replaying in my mind. His hand lingered on my waist, warm and heavy, as the shadows of my bedroom swallowed us whole. And I know, even now, I won't forget the way he said my name.